Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, I'm your host, Scott Carson. Kind of recording this live on a little bit later afternoon, almost early evening episode, because the fact is, won't have a chance to really record live on Wednesday because of a couple things. One, get ready to jump on a plane tomorrow morning, literally T-minus less than 12 hours, and I'll be in the air to the Buckeye State. We're headed out there for a kind of a special thing over the next couple of days, really kind of jamming in 3 things, maybe 4 things at once. So headed out, first of all, we've got assets in Ohio. Go take a look at. Secondly, we've got been asked to speak at 2 events. A big shout out to Bill Grismer, who runs the Central Ohio Real Estate Entrepreneurs meetup group or special note group. So I'm excited to be speaking there in Dublin, Ohio, Thursday night at Tony's Pizza, I believe. Will be fun. We'll be talking about some case studies. We'll be sharing actually some of the deals that we're actually driving by. Now, that's one big thing. We're flying a little bit earlier, literally a day and a half, 2 days early, because really the main event is this weekend's Midwest Note Expo, Midwest Note Summit that Vina Jones Cox is doing down in Mason, Ohio. It's about an hour and a half, about an hour, 100 miles southwest of Columbus at the Great Wolf Lodge there in Mason, Ohio, with about 200 other note investors and vendors and things like that. So I'm going to be speaking there for 2 days. I'm actually doing a session Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening on marketing, and then, of course, Sunday morning before lunch, we'll be talking about non-performing notes. But that's the reason that we're going. One of the big things I would love to share with you guys out here is that when you go to an event, it might make sense to fly out a day earlier to look at assets, to go to a meetup group versus a main event. It may make sense to meet with attorneys or other realtors in the neck of the woods, because we're literally going out there, and thanks, Brady, appreciate it. Safe travels and happy hunting. Yep, we're going to definitely have a great time hunting on that. On these 60-plus assets, we already currently have about half of them in our portfolio. We've got a big chunk of them that we're already working through. A lot of these are performing notes. We're just doing quick drive-by photos. Some of these are non-performing. Some of these we're in the process of getting ready to sell. And then the other half is assets that have been sent to us from 2 other hedge funds. One we're making offers on, and the other one, actually, we're making offers on a big chunk of these, but some of these we're looking to make offers on as well. So it's important to do a little bit of marketing, obviously, before we head out there. Now, we've been busy. We jumped online. We pulled some information. We used the spreadsheets that was provided with due diligence to identify the assets that, have the most potential for us, because literally driving 60 assets in 2.5 days when you've got to be at 2 spots is not going to be the easiest thing for us. So I have to give a big shout out to Stephanie Goodman, my navigator, to help out with it. Shout out to Shannon here in our offices, who's done a great job of helping us map our time and taking the assets, actually throwing them on some deal sheets for us so that we can actually utilize some really easy stuff for us to look at these assets. We don't have to pull up a spreadsheet on our computer. It's literally there on a deal sheet for all of us to use. And so that's a good thing. If you want to see some of the videos, I'll actually post a link there for you. It's our Vimeo page. You can go to vimeo.com and 28381. I should have done a bit link. Actually, you know what? Let me just do that. It'd be easier for me just to do a bit link, and so you guys can use it as well, especially for those that are listening out there. If you guys like Ohio, whether it's a non-performing note or a contract for deed, it's still about a 6 to 9 month process to still foreclose on or take the property back, which is fine because there's still a lot of inventory out there, and you've got some great stuff that you can look at, some decent deals, some great cash flows. That's the thing to keep in mind, especially people want to stay in their houses a lot of times, we often find. So we've been lucky in Michigan. We're lucky with a lot of other places too. And Ohio is one of those things that we're looking forward to. So I'll post that there for you. There we go. bit.ly/Ohio Note Show. There you go. Scott Carson doing some marketing that's trackable. To see how many people click on that link. Ohio Note Show. We'll throw it in the comments below as well here on Facebook. But for those that are listening out there on our podcast, look, we have sorts of opportunities like this all the time. when you market, you get things sent to you. Big shout out to Laura, working on a big portfolio of stuff that we're going to be helping her out with. On some stuff up there. We may end up staying a little bit later. Last night, out of the blue, get another spreadsheet of assets from another hedge fund who's got some assets to take a look at. And one's an extremely interesting asset. We might even delay our flight home Sunday night just to go take a look at this asset on Monday morning because it's such an interesting thing outside of Detroit. But what I want, biggest thing I want to get at and share with you is it doesn't hurt to try to kill two birds with one stone. If you take a little bit of time, whether it's later at night between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m., or you take a little bit of time, a little focus on something else to focus on something that can really make you a lot of money. And we're pretty stoked about this. Especially our last time that we went up to Michigan a month ago, we had some assets that made sense that we made offers on. We had some assets that we already own that, oh, great, looking better than we thought. Or others that we need to jump on the ball and get some of these knocked out and taken care of ASAP. So if it doesn't hurt if you can find assets, a bunch of assets in one of your markets to jump on the plane. Southwest flies most places for 500 round trip, or if you can plan it out ahead a little bit of time, a week or two out, get a little bit cheaper. I know it's harder to plan out when you get a listing just now. But the beautiful thing is I've made offers on these assets, and the asset manager has agreed on both the asset managers not to sell the assets until I come back with a bid on these things, or that I verified a bid. I've first want to submit a bid, so they promise not to approve or counter to anybody else until we come back. And I know that comes with time, it comes with experience, it comes with closing stuff on a regular basis, but you all have that capability of doing. You all have that ability that if you're going to go take a look at 20 assets, an asset manager is going to definitely give you time. Hey, I'm going to fly up, take a look at this week, and I'll come back to you on Monday with a number. Okay, great. Those are beautiful things. And so you just have to take it a little bit. You have to stretch yourself a little bit. You have to take the time to kind of grow up and really do things like that. You don't have to go out and look at 30 assets over 30 states. That's impossible. But if you got 10, 20, why not jump on the ball? Why not jump on a plane and go take a look at it? And if anything, combine 2 or 3 things at the same time to help you maximize your stay. Find a local meetup group and, kind of sandwich your stay between a meetup group or 2, or a meetup group and then meeting with some vendors in the neck of the woods, attorneys or colleagues or friends. So, like I said, we fly into Columbus and immediately look at about 8 or 9 assets in Columbus area. Then we skedaddle across and then up the state, just south of Cleveland. No, we're not buying any notes in Cleveland, but around Cuyahoga County we are, and hitting some other stuff that was up to Toledo, and then dropping down past Columbus, Cincinnati, through Dayton and that neck of the woods until. So pretty stoked. I kind of really excited. The photos that we pulled online looked like most of these are in pretty good shape based on some things. Big chunk are performing. Literally a large chunk of these are performing, and these are contract for deeds and NPNs as well. So that's the nice aspect of these things. On the 32 that are currently in our portfolio, they've brought in almost 40 grand in payments over the last 6 to 12 months. Some of these haven't brought anything in, but some of them have brought in a substantial. We got something has to be looking at brought in $6 grand in payments. Others have brought in $8 grand, $4 grand, $3 grand, $3 grand. So it's a sizable chunk of performing notes on these. And then on another, how many do I have here? Another 20 of them, they've brought in almost 48 grand in the last 12 months on these 19. And then the final, what are we looking at? 7 or 8? Actually, sorry. Final 9 are notes that I don't have their payment history on the last 12 months. But that's still a sizable amount of assets, because one of the things we like to look at is who's made payments in the last 12 months. Let's see if we can't maximize these and hit up some assets that look like they could be very, very profitable for us in the long run. So that's what we're doing this weekend. If you guys are looking for updates, we'll do like we did beforehand, upload a picture or two or a video and try to share it across the board. If you're listening to this You can always check out some of the past ones that we've done on Facebook by going to my Facebook page and checking out the videos aspects of it. And then you'll see the Michigan Roadshow, and then, of course, this one, because we'll be done and back in the offices by the time this shows up on iTunes or Stitcher. But if you're looking for assets, guys and gals, there's plenty out there. It's just a matter of picking the phone, calling, dropping emails out, and making things happen. I've gotten so many text messages from people, literally dozen-plus text messages from students who are just simply doing some simple marketing, and things are starting to hit. Thank you for those that listened to the Note Night in America on Monday night. Really appreciate it. You can catch the replay of that by going to WeCloseNotes.tv or checking out the Note Closers Show. I'm sorry, not the Closer Show. Note Night in America podcast on iTunes and Apple Podcasts as well. So, but are there any questions? Anybody out there watching that's got questions about why I like Ohio? What are some of the things that we're focused on? We have removed quite a few rural locations along the way that popped up. We've got a couple rural locations that I'm going to be able to hit, but they've been performing on time, so it's not really worth wasting our time driving by that. I'll get a local agent to drive by and take a look at it. But we've got a lot of performing notes now that we've rolled in that are coming up on that 12-month seasoning time frame, or at least 6 months of seasoning time frame. If you're interested in putting some notes in your portfolio with some performance behind them, reach out to us, and we could definitely get to talking a little bit about what's available. Question is, what's the color on the tape? Color on the tape, it's can vary a little bit. So on the non-performing note tape, it's all individual, roughly around 30 to 50% of value. The UPBs are all quite a bit higher than the value, so that's why we're going off the lower end of the value. The contract for deeds, the color tape on those are somewhere between 35 and 50% of UPB. So there's quite a bit of equity on those that we're taking down below what's up. But that's the beautiful thing with a contract for deed play. We're buying these as a cash flow basis, not really more of an equity or property basis. And of course, if they do default and don't pay, then we evict and take the property back and sell it with plenty of equity on it. So that's a great thing about what we're doing. Hey, if you're interested, let me know if you got some lazy assets out there, some CDs, IRAs, whatever, some money on the side that you want to put to work. Let me know. We've got some opportunities available to those that are looking to dive in and get their feet wet, or already got their feet wet, but got some money sitting on the sidelines they want to do some stuff with. So cool beans. Cool beans, everybody. So anyway, like I said, I wanted to film this episode a little bit early. I don't know how much availability I have over the next couple of days to get a new episode out for everybody out there, but stay tuned. Got some great stuff we're going to share over the next couple of days. Like I said, I'm so excited to be speaking at 2 events over the next couple of days. It means I got to work on my presentation, I think, a little bit here over the next couple of nights. But otherwise, that's about all I have. If there's no any other questions, Brady, thanks for sharing or asking questions. If you enjoy this, you like Ohio, maybe you want to share it across your platform for those that are watching on Facebook Live and or Facebook afterwards. So enjoy it. Stay tuned for updates from the Buckeye State. We'll see y'all later. Bye.